Whether it's one Africa or Africa one, we need that unification. That's the only way we will get the purification. One Africa or Africa one. And right now, we're having a re-emergence of Ecowas through the powers of the Most High, through the powers of the ancestors. We're having a re-emergence of Ecowas with the 4 pillars: Guinea, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. That's the new Ecowas. Those are the pillars Ecowas need to build upon. It's revolution time. Wake up, Africa. Wake up. It's our time. Take it right now. Ain't nobody gonna give it to you. We take it. We demand it. We command it. It is our time.
And how are you?
Yeah, good evening. How's everybody doing?
Man, we are doing fine, doing fine. Where are you streaming from?
Lagos, Nigeria.
Lagos, Nigeria. Come on, my brother.
Yeah.
How are you there?
I'm not happy.
There.
I'm not happy at all.
Yes,
What is happening to the Nigerians is not something that is good. But if changes must happen, there should be something valuable, and I'm not just happy. Sometimes I don't even know how to explain and express myself when I see my fellow Africans are going on through suffering and so many humiliation and so many problems. It gets to me. But the thing is that while we are fighting for one Africa, we should also get them in mind and keep talking, because that's the only thing we can do for now. Keep talking, creating the awareness so that people, international community, everybody can know that yes, we are serious. What is happening in Niger is very bad. And I know my president, which is Bola Tinubu, I don't understand that man, but what he's doing, I think he's doing it for his own selfish interest. He's doing it for himself because he's actually doing those things to make sure that, you know, that he have a court case already in the tribunal. So he's trying to play a delay tactics, and by using Ecowas to delay the proceeding in the court. So that's the reason why he's fighting so hard to make sure that the proceeding in the court gets delayed and they will do what they want to do and rule in favor. But that's not going to happen. So I'm just trying to let us all know and keep praying for the Nigerians so that at least they can come out of that shackles as fast as possible. But what I know is that actually that invasion that they are talking about, that ECOWAS want to come and invade, is not actually going to work. I think it is a form of delay tactics from our own side here, which our president is trying to play so that he can get the court to rule in his favor, so that he can sit in the seat. Because there is a certain part of the constitution, in our constitution, that says if should the country be involved with anything conflict or war, they will have to suspend every petition that is within the jurisdiction of the court for 4 years. So he's trying to make that possible so that they can just maneuver their way through that section of the constitution so that he can work with it, and then he set himself in the seat as a president. But from the look of things, I believe by the grace of God that it's not going to work like that, because most of the people in Nigeria here, we are against him. Like if you go to the northern part, because Niger and the north, which is the Islamic region of Nigeria, they are sharing borders. And those people are crying heavily that they shouldn't do anything, because most of them have their family there and their loved ones there. So they are trying hard. Like yesterday, most of them were on protest against ECOWAS invading So I'm not sure that invasion is going to take place or is going to actually happen. But you know, France and the United States are pushing Tinubu in the full front so that he can go ahead with what they wanted to do, because you know their interest there is at stake. So they are fighting as hard as possible so that they can gain ground, but it's not actually going to happen like that. Because most of the people here are against Tinubu. Like everybody, we are on the street every day protesting against that. On social media, making noise about that. Some people call it noise, but we keep talking every day and night to make sure that that doesn't happen. So I'm just praying in my own way and in my own capacity that the Nigerians will have to look for a peaceful way to sort that thing out. But if the people want the coup, because from what we are saying, from what everything that is going on, the people are in favor of it. They are actually liking what is happening. You know, you cannot be suffering for a very long time and keep yourself deaf for eternity. It's not going to work. See, Niger is one of the biggest country in the world that produce uranium. Like the uranium, they are producing up to, if I'm not mistaken, 30 or 25% of globally uranium produced or generated in the world, and yet they have nothing to write home about that. Their revenue is nothing to write home about. Everything is just upside down. So I think it's hard time the people get themselves together, and Ecowas should take their nose out of that, because I don't think in any way possible that it actually concerns Ecowas. They should leave those people alone so that they can take matters in their hand, because you can't keep telling people to deal with democracy, where democracy is killing them. So it's not possible. We in Africa, we should keep talking so that those people can have peace and find rest.
Yeah.
I'm just so tired and so confused sometimes. Like, we need this one Africa as fast as possible. We don't need to sit down and keep talking and keep ranting every time. Like you said that the Westerners are telling us that we are the YouTubers, the Instagrammers, the TikTokers. We talk. The only thing we know how to do is talk. We don't know how to act. I think it's high time we start acting. Yeah. Action should be one of the main things this year. I know we have gone almost the year. We have gone almost to the end of the year, but we need to do something. This year should be a year of, we need to do something as Africans. If it is the contribution, like what you said, if our leaders can come together and tell us what actually they want so that we can get this united Africa, because it really matters a lot that we have it. Because the little space that we have now, calling ourselves countries, 54 countries, without any, as in, our financial backing is nonsense. Politics is nonsense. Everything is just so upside down. So we need to start working towards that. Like me, I told you I want to be a fool. I'm ready to contribute anything in my own capacity to make sure that this United Africa happen in the next 10 years, if possible. That's what I want. In the next 10 years, it can happen in the next 10 years, I'll be too happy. Because we can't keep living like this. It's not possible. We can't keep living.
Yeah, brother, I appreciate that. I have a lot of people here actually waiting behind the line. I really appreciate, man, for your contribution.
Like my African brothers and sisters adding on to. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I appreciate it, George. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm having a second brother here, like the name of Africa's Vangua. It will be next, and then the architect. You'll be coming up after that, and then we'll have our brother Chris. Hi, brother. Welcome to the family.
Greetings. Give thanks. Hey. Greetings in the name of the God of our ancestors, Rastafari. Yeah. Swahili nation, big respect. Yes. We love what you're doing. We here in the diaspora, we love what you're doing.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah. You're doing your inspiration. You're an inspiration. Keep doing what you're doing. We got your back, man. we got your back. Whether on the continent or outside of the continent, we got your back. Whether it's one Africa or Africa one, we need that unification. That's the only way we will get the purification. One Africa or Africa one. And right now, we're having a re-emergence of Ecowas. Through the powers of the Most High, through the powers of the ancestors, we're having a re-emergence of Ecowas with the 4 pillars: Guinea, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. That's the new Ecowas. Those are the pillars Ecowas need to build upon. It's revolution time. Wake up, Africa. Wake up. It's our time. Take it right now. Ain't nobody gonna give it to you. We take it. We demand it. We command it. It is our time. Any part of the 4 corners of the earth, like they say, no matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you are an African. We got your back, SWAHILI Nation. Keep doing what you're doing. Respect. I'm Africa's vanguard. You understand? I'm on patrol. I'm on watch. Due to the powers of the Most High God. If y'all feel the vibes, follow me on YouTube at Africa's Vanguard. On Instagram, Africa's Vanguard. SWAHILI Nation. Keep doing what you're doing, man. The youth is where the truth is. The youth, it lies the truth. Keep doing what you're doing. Big respect, Rastafari. Yeah.
Let me get to what I was gonna say. Niger, man, I feel for those people, man. I feel for those people. I feel for those people because they have what can create electricity for the entire country. But their country is being looted, and then a brotherly country give them 70% of the electricity. But then now they're gonna cut it off because these people are trying to get free. You know what I mean? It's like it really angers me. But I believe that what's happening in West Africa is like the final push for Africa, and the people in Niger and Mali and Guinea and Burkina Faso should know that what Kwame Nkrumah said. Kwame Nkrumah said, when Kwame Nkrumah gave Ghana its independence, he said, the independence of Ghana will mean nothing if the entire of Africa is not free.
Absolutely.
The independence of Niger will mean nothing if the entire Africa is not free. The independence of Burkina Faso will mean nothing if the entire Africa is not free. The independence of Guinea and Mali will mean nothing if the entire of Africa is not free. So this is our final push. And we have to push so that we can birth this baby. And when we birth this baby, we have to protect this baby until this baby get big enough so that this baby can stand by itself. Right? So I want to send my love and respect to the people of Niger. Even though I can't speak French, I'm always looking at the African countries that speak French. I always translate the videos. I translate the comment section because it's very important to find out what's happening in these African countries where people are speaking French, because I believe that this is the imperialist Achilles heel. This is the French countries in Africa is the imperialist Achilles heel. And they don't want to let go of these countries because they have been enjoying what God has given us and the people of these countries for years, without the people even enjoying or getting a piece of that stuff. So, and we also have to look at when we look at these countries, right, in Africa, we still stop calling them countries. What they are businesses. They're businesses with CEOs that call themselves presidents. And the CEOs, they're not even the CEOs actually. They're like the what do they call them? The you know, like a CEO that controls a portion of certain area. They give a CEO a portion of certain area when they have businesses. And that's what the Europeans have been doing in Africa. They've been putting people in places. They've been putting people in places like CEOs. Whoever so many African countries, the person who becomes president is the person who can give the Western multinationals the best deal on the resources in Africa. Do you guys notice that? How did Mr. Bazoum become president? And I'm not saying anything. I'm not a xenophobe or anything, but I've heard that in Niger, it's only 8% of the population is Arab. So how did he become a president in a place like this? And they say he's the first democratically elected president. The first democratically elected president buddy to France, after what France have done to these people for so many years. That's not a coincidence. It can't be. But anyway, I'm just saying, man, love to the people of Niger. Keep your energy up. And Burkina Faso and Mali and all these other places and all these other places in Africa that are suffering under neocolonialism. Your time is coming soon. So get ready to participate in this creation of this one Africa that we're talking about. That's my contribution, brother.
and we just tell them energy.
Yeah.
That's the spirit of one Africa right there, my brother.
I'm telling you, every time they meet each other in the street and they're having a protest, they have to say energy.
Exactly. Absolutely. That's the spirit.
Until we get this one Africa, and even after we get this one Africa, after we brought this baby, we have to say energy. And after we protect this baby, we have to say energy.
You
understand?
Yeah.
Until we can walk outside the world as Africans and feel the pride that we're supposed to feel, we have to continue to say energy. And like I'm telling you, man, I feel so good about what's happening, and it's so disappointing to see what ECOWAS and the African Union is doing, because we are Africans. You serve us. We don't serve you people. They need to tell these presidents and these organizations in Africa what really, how this thing really should be. You guys serve us. We don't serve you.
Absolutely.
30,000 people came out to support the soldier that took over in Niger, but they still want to invade. They have to understand that they don't serve the Europeans, they serve us. And if they don't understand that, then what happened in Niger and Mali and Burkina Faso and the other country, then it need to happen in other places if they don't understand what this is, if they don't understand how to serve. If they want to own a business, they need to go and make a business and make a profit from their business. But they can't own the country as the country is a business. Like it's a business. It's not a business. That's my contribution, brother.
My brother, I appreciate you, man. And you know, I love you. Thank you for being there, man. It has been a moment, but you know, keep on keeping on. I know there's really great things are happening and are going on. So let's continue to reconnect, my brother.
Yeah, we reconnect, you know. I also have some lessons I want to drop, you know. Some notes are being taken and so on, but I'm in the process of moving right now. So it's a little bit hectic right now. But when I settle in myself, I have to drop them because we have to express ourselves in the best way we can so that we can help our people, you know. So
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. So I have two more people here. I have my brother Chris, and also I'm going to finish with Swahili for Africa. My brother, I see you there. You know what is like, I see everything you're doing there. I see you. So, but our brother Chris was here before you. So I'm just going to put my brother Chris here to have, to hear him out. And then, you know, I'm going to go to you as well. Chris, welcome to the family, my brother. How are you and where are you streaming from?
Hey, God bless you, my brother. I'm streaming from Sierra Leone.
Oh, Sierra Leone. Come on now. How is it there?
Brother, you know, it's raining a lot, but, you know, this is the season.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know. Recently, I've been getting a lot of.
I'm sorry. Somebody needs to mute their microphone because we're getting feedback.
No, it's only me and you here. So I think maybe if there's any device there that you can hear yourself, you just need to mute or to reduce the volume. Are you there, brother?
Oh, yes, I am.
All right, Chris. Can you hear right now clearly?
Yes, I can. I got you. I got you, bro.
All right, my brother. So you can go ahead, man. What is your contribution? Sending our love to Sierra Leone. What is your contribution? What do you think is the solution?
Brother, I'm not going to get into a lot of verbal masturbation. We know what the problem is, but what is the solution? The people, we can learn a lot from the people from the United States. How did they get their freedom? And who fought for it? It was not the people who were benefiting from the system the British imposed who fought. It was those who were disadvantaged. Here, we have to realize something. Our leaders are benefiting from our division. All these people want to be president, the ambassador, blah, 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 blah. They don't want to give that up. They are willing to let every African suffer as long as they get their villa in France, their house in America, and this and that. We must come to terms with that.
Well, I really appreciate everything you say. I agree with you 1,000%, and I think that's what we need right now. We need to, because right now when you go the media, you see the direction of the media is to talk about the same thing over and over and over again. Breaking news over and over. But we need to dive into the solution, and I think that solution has to come from us Africans. We need to realize that we need to pressure Ecowas and our organizations, to stand for our people, and the time is now. I really believe, brother, once Niger get through this, there will be a liberation for the entire continent, because everybody's following closely what is happening right now in Niger, and everyone is ready. So, my brother, here is the thing. We today we want to talk about solutions and all the stuff that is happening there, and what is the next move for ECOWAS, and all this news that you're seeing is happening. And I'm seeing your picture there showing World War III coming in Africa. I'd love to give you this moment to dive into that. Why are you saying that? And just remember that this is YouTube, my brother. You know what I mean, eh? You don't want us to disappear tomorrow. Because I know how radical you are. But
no.
Yeah, okay. You can have the floor, man. I'll be here quiet. I'll be here quiet, listening to you, and I'll leave that to you to just dive in.
Yeah. So for those who don't know me, my name is Imani. I'm African nationalist. I don't strongly. I say I'm Pan-Africanist because a lot of people don't know Pan-Africanist what I mean, but. I'm African Black nationalist, so I strongly believe in the United States of Africa now. And I do also advocate Kiswahili language, which you can see behind me, Swahili for Africa. So Black race, anywhere there is 10 people, as Black people, we should have a Kiswahili class in order to break down, to break away from these colonial languages, French and Spanish and Portuguese and all those kind of colonial languages. So that's what I do for a living. That's what I do as an advocate. And of course, Pan-Africanist, that's the biggest one, or Black African nationalists. United States of Africa. So I appreciate you, first of all, for each one of you guys who are online, following up what is going on in West Africa. And the whole, how much you spread information, because me as someone who live in Ethiopia, I totally understand that we need to have reasonable resources or information to be able to act right. Because if you don't have right information, you are definitely gonna be able to have to act in a wrong way. So that's pretty much what I can say. Now, what is really going on in West Africa? I think for now, each one of you guys knows what is going on. Is things that have been talked long time. For instance, Dr. Kanacho Omboriko, who was possibly among the top to voice these things with France and Africa, or France and the West African countries from a long time. She get fired. I think you guys know who's Dr. Kanacho Omboriko. So you remember also Natalie Yam, the lady from I believe she's from Northland, with the father from Cameroon. She also was cancelled. And Sebi, Kemi Sebi as well, he talked about this possibly around the past 10 years. He been talking about this, and then he been cancelled everywhere. He been abused and stopped in many countries. So he can go in some of the countries in Africa, in fact. So, but the whole problem is just three things. Especially Niger is different because of these three things. I want you to keep this in mind. Number one is the drones of U.S. base in Niger. Because US have the biggest drone base, so that they can, most of attacks maybe happen in West Africa based on drones comes from their place in Niger. That's number two is, of course, France.
I want to continue from where the Ethiopian guy fell off, because I think I kind of know where he was going. Hopefully I can help him out.
Yeah.
So he was talking about the base in Niger, the drum base, and the problem is that the United States, NATO as a whole, they're functioning in Niger, in West Africa. They don't use the name NATO for now because they can't. But if you think about it, Germany is in NATO, is in Niger. Italy is in Niger, military. US is in Niger, and France is in Niger. That's NATO. They're all in Niger, doing different tasks in Niger, all of them. And the thing about Niger is they need to have some type of influence in West Africa, because they do not want China and they do not want Russia to have a base anywhere in West Africa. So they're doing all they can to dominate the region. So people are wondering, why is US so adamant about fighting for Niger? Why is France fighting for Niger? Yes, they're fighting for uranium. Yes, they're fighting for oil. Yes, they're fighting for gold. But also, they're fighting for military strength, power.
Oh, yeah.
Geopolitics. So they're in Niger to dominate. And the problem is they've been there for so many years and they're not doing such a good job in terms of security. So the people of Niger, the military of Niger, the military of Mali, and the military of Burkina Faso are all upset that their people are dying. The security is unstable, so they don't want help from the West anymore. They're looking to Russia to get help. I'm sorry, I was dragging. I'm running out of breath, but they're looking for help from Russia, because in Mali, the Wagner Group have been doing such a good job in protecting that country. So now Niger is like, we need that help too. And Burkina Faso, you saw him in the Russia-Africa summit. He wants Russia help too. So all of them are seeking help from Russia. And the West is losing that grip in Africa and in West Africa, because Niger is the last hope to maintain the dominance in West Africa. Because they initially asked Nigeria for them to build a base in Nigeria, and Nigeria said no. So they've lost Burkina Faso, they've lost Guinea, they've lost Mali, and they don't want to lose Niger. So that's what they're fighting for. France, on the other hand, they're like on their knees begging for uranium because they lost Russia. Back for the last 10 years or so, up till 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine, they've been buying most of the uranium from Russia. But the US and EU don't want to do business with Russia anymore. So they're diverting their efforts to Niger. And the EU as a whole, meaning France, Germany, Italy, and all the other EU countries, they need natural gas from Niger as well. Natural gas used to come from them through the Nord Stream pipeline from Russia. They don't get that anymore. So they are in desperate need for natural gas as well. So where is it going to come from? Nigeria, Niger, all the way up to Europe, to Italy, to supply them with energy security. So this is not just a geopolitical interest that they have. They also have a geo-economic interest as well. And the last thing I want to talk about is the United States also want to decrease the dependency on China on minerals that they need to build the space technology, the AI technology, and the quantum computer technology. Right now, China has 80% of the world market share on those raw materials that everybody needs. And if you all know, China and the West are not getting along right now. So the West don't want China to become the #1 country in the world. So they're doing everything they can to stop China. So Niger is blessed, and people don't know this. Niger has 10 million tons of those minerals that China has 80% market share of. So where the US base is located in Niger is called Agadez, Niger, right? So in that place, next to it is where the US is gonna be mining for those minerals in Niger. So they strategically positioned their base close to their mine. And guess what?
Oh, man.
They call it a drone base, right? But the drone base has a runway. That runway can take cargo planes. So guess what? A cargo plane can come into Niger and leave without nobody checking it.
Oh man.
So they can bring in whatever they want, and they can take whatever they need without going through customs.
That means that's what they've been doing.
Yeah, but it's not going to make the news because there's something called top secret in the United States, right? And in top secret, there's something called no foreign disclosure, meaning you cannot disclose this secret to any foreign nation. So they have secrets, and then they have the ones that no foreign nation should ever be communicated with. So it's unfortunate, but that's the world we live in. To me, it's all about negotiation. So you get what you negotiate. So Bazoum and his president, the guy that came before him, made bad deals. So Niger is paying the price, and now the people are revolting. They want something different. Military might not be the best solution, but it's a change. It's something different that they've been used to. And they don't want France anymore. They don't want France anymore. So they want something different. They're tired of suffering. How can the one of the richest countries in the world in terms of natural resources be one of the poorest people in the world in terms of human per capita? It doesn't make sense. Niger is overexploited and underdeveloped. So it doesn't make any sense whatsoever that they are living the way they're living. So I hope I added to what our friend from Ethiopia was going to talk about. But the base is there to secure Niger, true. It's there to prevent terrorists from spreading across Africa, true. But like I told you on one of our calls, that's not the only reason why they're there. They're also there to protect their minds as well. So when the citizens are mining, they should feel safe that nobody is going to attack them. They should have the peace of mind that nobody's going to get to them because the drone is doing surveillance for them 24/7. So they will feel safe while they're doing their work. But yeah, man, it's politics is very complicated. It's very complex. I want to say a few good things that I see in Africa as well. East Africa, especially Kenya, Ruto, and Rwanda, Kigali. I think it's not Kigali. What's his name? The president?
Paul Kagame.
Kagame, yes. I think those two are speaking out the way, even though they're not perfect, but they are speaking up for Africans the way all African leaders should be speaking up. For example, Ruto will talk about how Africa Summit shouldn't be all African people going into one place to talk for 3 minutes or so. It should be everybody having their own time as much as they need to talk about their own interests. Or, he said, or African Union going as one to talk about what Africa as a whole needs. So in West Africa, we don't get that a lot. And then North Africa, they have their own thing going, and their countries are a little bit better than Sub-Saharan Africa. But East Africa right now, I'm West African, but I'm gonna say it. East African leaders are doing a much better job than West African leaders. So in West Africa, we need to step our game up and do better. And in my country, Nigeria, go ahead.
I want to say that's a very humility statement by you, because it's hard for a lot of you guys to admit that. But you know what? We're all Africans, so we're all doing good.
we're doing good, but just look at my own president. You know, I don't even think we elected. We elected. You know, he was selected.
That's another case.
And people don't know this. There's a lot of complicated things going on. Before Tinubu was elected in Nigeria, there's a woman who is second in command in the State Department, which is Blinken, and then her. Her name is Victoria Newland, right? Before our election happened, she went and sat with the people that coordinate our elections, which is the INEC. It's called the institution is called INEC. She probably helped to influence, you know, our election to go the way it went, because they gave them money, they helped them set up their softwares, they helped them set up their hardwares. So that means they had their hands in our election. There's no two ways about it. If they gave money, if they checked our softwares, if they checked our hardware to make sure that, you know, it was secure, that means they had access to do whatever they wanted to do in our election. And see how our election turned out. There's nobody in Nigeria who would tell you that our election was not rigged. No one in Nigeria will tell you that. Even the people that support Tinubu know deep in their hearts that he didn't win. So, you know, there's no way, no how that he won, but it's a world we live in. Back in 2016, when Trump was running for election in America, the whole country, you know, was complaining about foreign interference. Russia is meddling in an election. China is meddling in an election. But in Nigeria, if they do the same thing, everybody will keep quiet. And they've been doing this for the longest time. You know, people are complaining about African leaders. But every time we, as Africans, select a good leader, right? They assassinate them. They kill them. They kill them.
Facts.
And then when we select a good leader, they either kill them or throw a coup against them to secure their interests. Like you said, they need Africa. They will never bomb Africa. They need us more than we need them. It's just that they keep manipulating us. And they keep taking advantage of us. They keep giving us the leaders they want us to have so they can control them. So I don't know how we can win over that manipulation that we have. You know, in the Bible, it's called stronghold, right? They have a stronghold. They have a stronghold on us. And it's nothing new. This is from centuries in the making. That their ancestors, the ancestors, already laid down the table for them to keep manipulating us. So us in this generation and the generations to come need to find a way to break the chain, you know, of the stronghold that they have on us. It's very complicated. Like Chris was saying, one of your callers, Chris, he said that, man, I just lost my train of thought. It's crazy. Chris, let me see, what did Chris say? No, forget about it. I've lost it. It's gone. But yeah, man, they have a stronghold on us, and we just have to keep going. I think I'm going to stop here because I've lost my train of thought and I don't know where else to go. But yeah, I hope I contributed to what your Ethiopian brother was going to say about the days in Agadez, Niger. And I'll try to keep contributing every time I can.
Absolutely, man. You said more than enough. You know, what you shared is, I think, it's very crucial. I think we're gonna cut that part and reshare it again, because you dropped down a lot of very significant points that if someone is listening to that, then understanding that, oh, okay. Yeah.
Let me talk about that. Let me talk about that main point I made about those minerals, because people don't know about people. You know, we know about oil because oil has been in the media for the longest time. Like they discovered, I don't know when they discovered oil, but it's been decades, if not a century ago, right? In 18 something. Rare earth minerals, it's something new. You know, it's if they knew about this a long time ago, they would have been mining it. But it's something new. But it's worth trillions of dollars, and it's all over Africa. You know, the problem about United States, people don't know this. United States has a lot of natural resources, but people will never know that. But you know what the problem is? The environmental laws in America are so strong that the government, you know, in the states, in the counties, will not allow them to mine in their own land because mining pollutes, right? So they cannot overcome the pollution laws. And if they can't, they skip to go to somewhere they can mine with no obstacles, with no implications. So in America, if they mess anything up, I'm promising you, America has all the minerals you can think about: gold, oil, and you know, if you remember, Trump kept talking about we need to drill, we need to frack, we need to get our own oil because they have it. They just can't access it because of the laws preventing them to do so. So what Trump did, he got rid of the environmental department in the government and put his own people. He put his own people in there. And that made it possible for him to go mine with no implications. But when Biden came into power, he put everything back the way they want it to be. So, and another reason why they like Niger is because the cost of mining is very cheap because they don't have to do everything they need to do to make sure the environment is clean when they're done. The water is not polluted. Because you know, when you mine, you get to the aquifer. And aquifer is the water below the land. When people dig well, that water they get from underground is called the aquifer. So when you mine, you're going into that same water, right? Because you're going into the ground. So if you're mining uranium, when you get to that water, the radiation from the uranium will merge with the water, and then it contaminates the water. So in Niger, because they don't have strict laws and strict policies, that when that happens, they don't have anything that will happen to them, right? So, for example, France have polluted Niger, and they haven't done anything about it. Niger is trying to sue, but they're not getting anywhere because they don't have strong laws against it to start with. They're coming afterwards to try to solve the problem. Versus in America, they already have the laws in place already in case something like that happens. And also, for you to even drill, you need to make sure you are using the best practices before you even start, so nothing will happen. And then you have people that will come and inspect you every time you drill, every time you do anything in the mines. So these are some of the things that we need in place when these people come to get their resources. And we need to start industrializing our countries. So when we mine, we process in our countries before we export. I hope the wind is not too loud or not too much. I'm almost home. So we need to industrialize our countries. So when we mine, that is not that the money stays at home. Because right now, the biggest problem Africa has is that we are exporting our jobs. And what I mean by exporting our jobs is when France mines in Africa uranium, the miners, some of them are going to be Nigerians. When they mine, they make money, but they pay them very cheap compared to what they'll pay people in Europe. One, so maybe about 500 miners in a country that has 25 million people. So something like 500 people, very low wages, very low, bare minimum in Niger currency for them to survive. And then the rest of the uranium that was mined, instead of that uranium getting processed in Africa to create even more jobs, that uranium gets shipped the way it was mined to France, and then France factory workers will then go and process that uranium for France to use. That's what I mean by exporting jobs. So instead of using that raw material that we have in Africa to use it to create jobs, African leaders don't have the sense to understand that they need to create jobs. If you look across Africa, especially Nigeria, I'm going to keep using Nigeria so I don't feel bad. Nigeria has a very high unemployment rate across the whole country. Because why? We depend on oil. We're one of the largest oil producers in the world. But that oil doesn't get refined in Nigeria. So we mine the oil and we put it in the ships and it goes to Europe or America, or wherever else it goes, China, and then they bring it back refined and then we have to buy it as a petroleum or any other oil product that they make, petroleum product that they make. So it's very sad that in Africa that we don't have the mind to create jobs, to help our people survive. So Tinubu, for example, Ecowas, in this Niger coup, because I want to talk about Niger as well, in this Niger coup, the people are revolting, the people are complaining, people are dying of poverty, people are sick. Instead of Tinubu and ECOWAS trying to understand why things are the way they are, they're busy trying to save the so-called democratically elected, not even democratically governing, but democratically elected leader to keep things the way they were. So France can keep getting what they're getting and everybody else can keep getting what they're getting. Doesn't make any sense. Why keep things the same way they are? We need to change Africa. And I'm gonna end with this. This is my last one. And like you are advocating for One Africa. One Africa is so important because this is why One Africa is so important. Do you know that we don't set our own prices for our raw materials? Do you know that? Our raw materials. So what the Europeans do, and you can research this, they go price with Niger and go price with, let's say, I'm gonna use Congo, DRC, right? They go price DRC, and then they come back and say, well, DRC is gonna give us this price. Are you sure you don't want to lower your price? And then we lower our price. But if we have one Africa, one currency, and then we have a uniform market where we come and say, this is going to be the price of this natural resource. This is the price we're going to put on it. We all agree that this is the price. And then when they come and try to buy from us, they understand that this is the price. So if you go to Europe, you go to America, you go to China, you talk about the stock market, The stock market is the way they set that price. This is what the price is today. So if you go look at uranium in the international market, it's going to be about $50-something. That's the price. Everybody agrees that's the price, right? But in Africa, there's no price. You know, when they come, they tell the leader, we're gonna buy you, we're gonna mine here, and then we're gonna give you and your family $5 million. You can go and take vacation, have fun, take care of yourself, send your kids to Europe and America to study, and then we're gonna mine. And the people suffer while the leaders get fat. So that's the problem. And that's where I'm gonna end. That's what I say. Until next time.
That's why I just had to shut up, to let you pour out everything, man. You have a lot of minerals inside of you, man, and I appreciate you. Man, for speaking out.
You're welcome, sir.
This has been very productive.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You're impacting lives. People are tuning into you from all over the world. Russia, Greece, Ukraine today. Somebody from Ukraine came in the comments. So people are listening to you. US, Europe. So keep doing what you're doing.
Praise God. We praise God, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.